Welcome to the Mevo podcast. Whether this is your first time hitting record from your iPhone or if you're working on a big budget cinema camera, we're going to give you all of the tactical tips, tricks, and pieces of advice that you need for the next time you hit record. We're here today in the beautiful Studio Space MKE. If you need a cyc wall, we've got some white behind us here. There's some green over there. Any set that you need made, they will put it together for you. It's just a wonderful spot. We've used it for so many things in our work and in your work as well. Today I have with me Kaycee Kelsey. Let me see. You've acted, you've written, you've directed, you've produced, you've AC'd, you've made music. What ain't you done?
Master on flipping a pancake.
You know, I just learned how to do omelets. That's been my last year goal. Yeah. I didn't master omelets, but I at least know how not to screw them up royally anymore. Yeah. So
I hear that a lot. People ask me that. Is there something you can't do?
And it's pancakes.
It's pancakes.
Pancakes. I mean, I gotta be honest. The directions are on the back of the box. I can't tell you if I've ever successfully made a pancake, so you're not alone. But I want to dive in, start with kind of where your creativity came about. You've obviously done so much, and we'll get into all of that. But what really started your love for being a creative?
So the long story short, my aunt used to take me to plays, and we had this thing in a way of like how we bonded together, movie theaters. And it's just always been around, but more specifically with her because of we would do it every weekend. My first play was The Watsons Go to Birmingham, 1963. And I really just gravitated and enjoyed just visual storytelling. Originally I wanted to go into acting, but my mom couldn't afford the classes. And then I shared with my aunt that, I have vivid dreams. And she's like, well, maybe you should write them down. So that's how my love for writing started. So every script that I've ever written throughout that time, through childhood to now, has been something that I've dreamt about.
Is Rise to Fall a product of that?
Yes. So I had a dream that I was on stage and I passed out.
Okay.
Why I was on stage, I don't know. How I got on stage, I don't know.
I mean, it's a dream. You can write your own dream, right?
Yeah, I was on stage and I passed out, and then I remember typing that up, and from there it just turned into this musical drama series. And I was like, okay, well, how did she get there? Originally, I didn't want to play her. I had someone else that I wanted to play her, but just from a writer standpoint, that's how it came about. I had a dream. I was on stage. I can't remember a song or nothing. I was just there, and then I just fainted. And I was like, oh, what is that? So I wrote it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Was it under the same circumstance in your dream, or did you kind of write in?
No, that's the
it was
opening.
Under the same,
yeah, that's the opening scene to the first season, first episode. Her going on stage and passing out.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That is crazy. So what early projects kind of led you into taking, those early memories with your aunt into, okay, now I'm going to put some of this to practice now that I'm writing down my dreams?
Yeah. So some of the early projects, I didn't get started until I got to college. I didn't have a camera in high school. I didn't take photography in high school or video. I did do theater in high school. I was in Fame and that. So that, in terms of acting, that's how that started, or my early experiences was in high school for acting. But writing and video and filmmaking didn't start till I got to college. And then it was really most of those projects that I've done for class that made me be like, yeah, this is exactly what I want to do. And because I didn't look at school I did look at school as schoolwork, but for my film classes, this was fun and I really pushing my creativity. Of course, it was for a grade, but I enjoyed it a lot. So I'm like, okay, yeah, this is where I want to be. And then I worked at Aurora Healthcare and Creative Services, so I did a lot of commercials with them. And so just visual storytelling overall was just I knew it was my calling from then. But I hear stories of people who are like, yeah, I've done all types of things as a kid. I didn't get a chance to do that until I got to college.
Does that matter though?
No, I don't think it does. I think that's part of life. You evolve and you grow and you try to figure out what your purpose is. And I do think my purpose is to inspire through visual storytelling. So,
how does that breathe through your work? And I guess I'm getting at it from the sense of like with Rise to Fall specifically, and I'll dive more about it later. But like you've done so much within that, and I think I was thinking about it while prepping for both of my episodes today. The beautiful thing about Milwaukee is that if you have an idea, you can do it, and people will be there with you to see it through. And I don't know if that's neither here nor there to other cities, but you've been able to take any idea that you've had and just screw it, I'm making it.
Yeah, and that was literally the whole purpose of the first season. It was straight out of college, and I just wanted to do something. I didn't have a lot of resources. I didn't know a lot of people in the industry that were doing it. The first season was run and gun. All of us were new to it, including the actors. And I had me and the DP that did the first season, Akela Hayes, shout out to her. But it was literally like a 2-man show. It was me and her. I was the boom op. I was everything. She was everything as well. The actors, this was all their first time. And so to your point, it was like, I wanted to just do something and I did it. But also I wanted it. The first season, Rise to Fall was never supposed to be what it is now. It literally was like, even if you look at my old promotion, it says limited series. It literally was just something to say, hey, this is what we're all capable of doing, something to show for outside of school, outside of freelance, like something to call my own. And just knowing that I didn't have the resources, like, okay, I'm just going to make something and work with what I got. And then it turned out people actually liked it.
A lot of people did.
Yeah, a lot of people liked it. And then from there, you can see the evolution between 1 and 2 is so drastic. Like I look at it and be like, oh, it's so bad. But at the time, it really wasn't that bad considering all things, right? But like now it's like I had every department filled. Still had new actors, still had people who were new to it. And in the back end, aside from the story, Rise to Fall was really just a beautiful thing of community and bringing people together and ultimately giving people I feel like if I'm in a position to give people their first yes, why not do it? My boom op, he came on his birthday and I just found out he was 19. He just graduated high school. I had got connected with him through a friend of mine, the sound person at church. Mm-hmm. I didn't know too much. His name's Elijah. I didn't know too much about Elijah. DM'd him. He's like, yeah, I haven't done it before, but I'm willing to learn. The way he painted it was like, he knows a little bit of something, but not a whole lot. And I was like, okay, that's more than enough for me to work with.
Yeah.
But when he showed up, it was like, no, I just turned 19 today. And I remember Sean was there, and he's looking at me like,
what'd you get me into?
What is this? Like, because sound is half your project.
Oh, yeah.
This is
more
important.
Than an argument,
this is an important role. And he's like very enthusiastic. Like, yeah, I watched all the videos. I just need an hour. I just need 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock for what?
Dang.
So we set him up with one of the PAs that had a little bit of experience with sound. To kind of like guide him and what to look for and stuff. And he stood on business. 2 o'clock came around. He was full selling. Boom is up. Boom. Ready to go. Fixing the levels. Saying, oh, can you guys do that again? You clipped. He knew all of that stuff. And he learned that with the day before being on set on his 19th birthday. First time even being on set.
So he didn't boom op that first day. You had your PA do it that first day?
No,
or?
he boomed up that first day.
Oh, dang. Okay.
Yeah.
He really stood on business.
The PA showed him how to do it.
Wow.
But he said he was going to have it by 2 o'clock, and he had it by 2 o'clock. He was by himself because she had to go anyway. But he was He was by
He
himself.
in the corner just on YouTube, like, I hope I get this by 2 o'clock.
Yeah, he said he watched all the YouTube videos prior to coming, and I'm like, oh gosh, what did I just do? But it worked out, and he
YouTube
came
University.
back. He came back, and it sounded really great.
It did. I mean,
Yeah,
I would have never noticed watching
exactly.
it that that's what that was. So
exactly.
he did his job as far as I'm concerned.
But that's like many of the stories that we have with season 2. We had so many people that came in first time for something, and so it was just like, yeah, Rise to Fall is a nice show, but like, I just want this to be something that everybody can get experience on. It was an open set. People were bringing other people with them just to get the experience. And so that just goes back to my main point. If I'm in a position to give people that, I don't know who I have on my set. I don't know whose story is going to take off, what your trajectory is. So you just never know who you have on your set. And so just having that, I just feel like it's my purpose to inspire people. And it's like, yeah, I gave you your first opportunity. Now you decide what you want to do with it, but sometimes people just need a yes. And so.
And how do you then, because on those days, you've got so much on your plate. You wrote it,
Yeah.
you're acting in it, you're directing it, producing,
Yeah.
I mean, you've got help in some of those things, but like,
Right.
really, this is your thing. So how do you then, a lot of sets, if somebody came on and was like, I'm gonna watch some YouTube, see in a couple hours, like, how do you compartmentalize that and still focus on getting everything else ready to go?
I think I was blessed enough this second season to really have support this second time around. So Sean Powell, whose space this is, shout out to Sean, he's here with us now, but he was the DP and producer for the show. And so having him in on set really helped a lot, because he also directs, and he knows what it's like to be on set and trying to juggle like all types of roles and things. So having him was kind of, he in a way almost played as an assistant director too, because when I'm on screen, he's directing and trying to get all the chaos in order. So him, and then I did have an assistant director, Deanna, who actually helped a lot too. So all in all, it's just I had more support this time around, and people that were saying, okay, your talent today, sit down.
Yeah. We
Sit
got
down.
you.
Yeah.
If you could explain to the world what Rise to Fall is in one sentence, how would you describe it?
Explain what Rise to Fall in one sentence. Rise to Fall is a musical drama series about Zion, who steals her ex-boyfriend's music to become famous. Period.
Period. Move on. The one thing that I loved about season 2 versus season 1 that I think is unique and something I'd love to see more pieces like this, if you will, explore was, and I'm going to date myself, but the almost MTV-esque music interludes.
Yeah.
How did that come to play?
Yeah. So it is a music drama. It's not a musical, but
Right.
It is a music drama. And so I was really inspired by Empire.
Okay.
I don't know if you've seen Empire, but how they did that, where it was like the characters were all, you had rapper and then singer, and so they were in the music. The whole premises was this music industry, right? Or this record label, excuse me. And they kind of had the same setup, whereas scene, and then you break into, like you said, this.
I mean, those music videos went hard.
Yeah, music videos.
Like, they went really hard.
Yeah, and so I love musicals, by the way. But I don't have the budget to make a full musical, for one. I would love to do one in my career at some point. Just one. I just need to do one. But I was like, I'm not ready to make a full-blown musical, so how can I add just little like music elements to it? And so I was inspired by Empire. So that's how that came about. I teamed up with my boy Elliot, who's an artist, and he wrote all the songs for my character Zion. And I want to emphasize that some people think that I did the writing too. I did not write those songs. So
You could have sold me.
you
had your chance.
That's a testament to his pen and his skill to write, not only for based on story, storyline, make sure that it fits the character, but for a female as well, and putting his brain there so that, because it's a lot that goes on for him too. He wants it to be kind of like modern, like what's how the girls are rapping now, and but how can we still give Zion her own identity based on her personality and character? And so all I did was get the demos from him. I wish I can leak them, but he won't let me. And I listened to them over and over again, the deliverance, the cadence, and the way he delivered certain songs. I put my own little spill to it, which I learned that I could be an artist if I wanted to.
I would agree.
But I don't do it habitually, so it's a little bit challenging for me when we get in the studio. Lots of takes, but my biggest thing is just delivering the songs the way that he envisioned it, because it is his songs. I'm just the performer, like a real artist. Most artists don't write; they go through the same process where they get reference tracks and then they take it and kind of make it their own. So we went through the same process, exact process.
I think you did a really good job writing for the character from a story aspect, but writing for you, the performer.
Right. Yeah.
I think like names of what my brain is mashed potatoes, but like near the end of the season 2, you know, there was the one that you were kind of just sitting and dropping bars.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I was watching it and I'm like, I know that he wrote it for the story and it makes sense within the story, but like it was clearly written for you to perform it. I don't think anybody else could have done the justice that you did for it.
And that happened with us sometimes. I really do feel like an artist during this process. I have songs that we didn't use. It just wasn't me. And it happened where let's try it out. We go in the studio, record it. I'm not really getting it. Can't catch it. Or it's just like, you know what, maybe this one is just not for me. And he would agree, like, yeah, this not the one. We'll just go back to the drawing board. But that is very challenging too, because you're right. He did write for what I could do in my vocal range and everything, which we learned I don't really have in terms of rapping a big vocal range. My voice is very soft. And
you're dropping bar. I don't.
Ding, 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 ding. So, you know, and like he wants me to be hard sometimes, and then it's like, nah, we can hear you're trying way too hard. But like, yeah, it is. I think the show all in all just shows so many different skills in all the areas. Like even with Kelly on art. And
seriously,
then,
yeah.
And then like Sean with his camera work, and then me and with the dancing and stuff. Like I'm showing my talent. And so it's just like, I think Rise to Fall is just a beautiful thing altogether in terms of like Milwaukee. Because everyone is from here that is involved on the show, or they currently live here, or they live in Wisconsin in general. So I think like that's what I be trying to push for people to watch it. Like, I got 75 plus people on this thing. Like,
that's wild.
And they're all local. Look at what we did.
With talent.
Yeah, and we did it at a short time too. Like, it was spaced out, but we only had a total of 14 days.
Of production, straight up, yeah.
Of production. Now, it took me editing a lot longer. But,
as it does, but that's to be expected, yeah.
Yeah, but like production itself, 75 plus people in 14 days.
I mean,
it's insane.
Editing was great too. And I think like that was another big thing that I noticed from season 1 to season 2. Yeah. Like especially talking about the bank heist and everything like that. I was like, there's some good editing that went into place here. Like this was well thought out.
Yeah. The first season, like I said, it was running gun. I learned a lot, but then with second season, I think because this second season was more put together and more planned out, I took my time with the writing. I didn't rush it. I think that's why it worked so well. And then plus having the crew and the support that I had this second season. And I say that's pretty darn good because I did not know how to color grade. You can ask Sean. That was part of the biggest holdup. It was like, you got to push those blacks. I'm pushing the blacks. Push them some more. Push some more. You're not getting the color. I'm like, the color is there. No, it ain't. And then I'll push some more and I'm like, oh, okay, I see it.
Yeah. One thing that I think really stands out is like now learning that, you know, it was dreams that kind of started this process. Vulnerability and permission. Both of those come through very prominently in your personal story with the piece. What would you say to people that might be held back or holding themselves back from a vulnerability standpoint? And then how do you give yourself permission to do the thing when it might look a little daunting on paper?
Right. I would just say, I think first, if you feel very strong about what you're doing in the project that you're doing, or like if you scratch that altogether, if you feel strong in it and you think it's something that you, even if you have like the slightest of, I think I can do this now, then go ahead and do it. Because someone is trying to send you a sign of like, just go do it. So I think it's kind of hard in this industry because everything's about money. Like we work in a industry where like money literally buys time and everything else. So it can be very discouraging to want to, you have this project, it's written out, it's on paper, and then you don't know what to do with it. All because you don't have funds. But I just feel like I think it's okay. So like, for example, I have a project that I really want to do, but it's not time for me to do it because I feel like I don't have the money for it. So what can I do with the money that I have now? And I think if you're able to start there, then everything else will fall into place. And that's how it was for Rise to Fall. I didn't have any money, but I had a camera, I had lights to do something. And then it turned into getting a little bit of money and then a little bit of production help for season 2. So sometimes it's just like putting aside all of your doubts and just saying, hey, I still need to do something. Even if it's on someone else's set, just go do it, go work, and you just pray that it all falls into place. Because Rise to Fall isn't nearly on the cuffs of what I want to do. Or what I'm capable of doing. It's just something that I think that I could do now with what I have.
So does that mean there's a season 3? You gonna write more?
No. No, I don't even know how to, I get that question too. I don't even know where to start with a season 3. I kind of wrote my character off.
Yeah, it ended pretty abruptly, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, sure did.
So it's like, how do I make up from that and make it good and not have people, because like sometimes you come back from things and you're like, that kind of sucked. Like this is like, I don't know, with series, like some people are like, oh, season 3 was worse than season 4. I don't want that to happen with season 3 where we're forcing a storyline to bring it all just to have it. I will say I've thought about spinoffs. There are people that are interested in like the Godfrey family.
I was gonna say there's character development that's been there that could be interesting.
Even the detective of how she spoiler alert, but like she helped someone get away, and that's
some dirty cop.
You know, you can lose your whole career, your whole life because of that. So like, how would she be in the aftermath of that? And the only reason I wrote myself off was because of like, if I do consider continuing Rise to Fall, I just don't want to be on camera anymore.
It definitely takes a burden away from your ability to.
It's a lot to direct and to be talent, and to, even though I had help, I'm still stepping in areas because, you know, someone couldn't show up this day, or now we're out. It's every independent goes through its low budget problems, you know, like, so it was like, and my main focus is directing too. While I love being on screen, but for your own stuff, it gets pretty hard, or it's challenging. Let me say challenging. I enjoy it though. It's just, I get so drained afterwards.
You crushed that Rivian acting. I mean.
Being pulled left and right. And it's like, I think like, I'm not going to say people don't consider, but like, let's consider the fact of like when you're acting, I'm in a whole nother mindset, and then I have to come back to reality and talk to Sean or talk to whoever. Like, we want to talk to Kaycee, not Zion right now. Like, okay, hold on. So it's a mental pull when you're in character and then you're trying to direct too. So I was drained after sets a lot. Like, just Saturday, slept the whole day. Sunday, knocked out. My mom was like, hey, I haven't seen you in a minute. Oh, I've been asleep this whole time.
I don't know which person I am. Yeah. So what was the journey like of getting Rise to Fall on Amazon?
Long and weird and new. We had talked about distribution prior to even shooting. So when it was done, I didn't know it was going to take that long. Which is why we did the premiere and everything. Because I know that Sean had already was reaching out to different, I'm going to call them like agencies or companies. But I didn't know it was going to take, I think he was reaching out well before our premiere. And then it took a week after our premiere just for them to respond to him. Jeez. With something. Like, and I was at Walmart and he's blowing up my phone. So I answer, and I'm on a 3-way call with one of the distribution companies. And I don't even know what's going on because I'm like, should I say, like, what is this call? And then he's like, I'm on the phone with them. I'm like, who's them? He's like, distribution. I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm in the parking lot listening, and they're just telling us, like, all the platforms we can get on, and they were going to send us a quote. Took them, like, 24 hours to even send the quote. Got the quote. It was like $8,000. I was like, oh no, I can't do that. So then we asked for another one because they charge you per platform to talk to. But they were an agency that was like guaranteed because they were like official distributors.
Yeah.
And they did all the pitching for you. They did all your artwork for you. And your captions, they did everything for you, which also contributed to the cost. Mm-hmm. But I don't have $8,000 just to give you. So Sean told me about Film Hub. I've heard about it. Yeah, it's a platform. The key differences is it's free. It's an 80-20 deal. So they get 20% and then you get 80. And then the other difference is that you do all your pitching and all your arts and your artwork and your captions. So, I mean, for the cost, and honestly, again, Rise to Fall from the beginning wasn't supposed to be what it was anyway. I was willing to put in the work to get that up on their distribution platform. And ultimately, they could still say no. Like, Film Hub can say no and not try to speak on your behalf at all. And they didn't. And so then... with all that, by now we're looking at July, I believe, after we uploaded it and they said yes. And then August, nothing. Then September, it was like, I started getting the notifications, right? So far I got pitched to this platform and this platform and this platform and this platform. I'm like, okay. And then I saw Amazon Prime. And I'm like, okay. So it says like they talked to them or they sent the pitch to them. Mm-hmm. And then it was another 30 days license with Amazon Prime. And I was like, oh, shit. Sorry, can I cuss on you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I was like, oh, shit. And then I called Sean. And then he's like, congratulations, KMK. That's what he says. And then another 30 days was when it gets uploaded. So it's a very long process. We just got licensed for Tubi.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So, and we're on a total of 8 platforms currently, which is really nice.
I mean, from us, congratulations.
Thank you.
I don't have anything on anything, so.
8 total platforms. And again, it's weird because they all operate the same. You don't know when they're going to upload it. You have to kind of keep checking it. Film Hub says 30 plus days. And they really mean that. It was 30 plus days after it's been licensed. Yeah. So even though we're licensed for Tubi, it may not be there till the end of this month.
You're on refreshing every morning.
I'm
like,
always
hey,
looking every month. I have the promos ready to go for it, but I'm always looking like, okay, are we on there yet? And that was the same thing for Amazon. I kept looking, and then I said, Sean, I'm just gonna get the cast together and just tell them, because they've been asking me what's going on. The day we met was the day.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And I was like, yeah, I was just gonna tell y'all, but it looks like, we're up there actually. And then they were all checking and so excited. So it was kind of like humbling almost, like from what I'm like, oh, this is just a project to do. And
it was just a dream.
Yeah, it's just a dream. It's just
Literally
a project.
just a dream.
And now we're on 8 platforms.
That's crazy.
So.
What has that experience been like from somebody who's really just put love into a project? Because I think a lot of people stop. I mean, this kind of goes into the permission side that I was alluding to earlier, but like, you said, I'm doing this, and you did. And now you've got it on 8 platforms. So many people stop before they even have a script written.
Yeah.
What can you say to kind of help people who might be like, I see Rise to Fall on Amazon, but I don't know if I can do that too?
Take your time. I think that's the beautiful thing about filmmaking altogether. You are in control of how long, like, we look at social media, and even I found myself in this position, even with you guys, like, dang, you guys are killing it. What am I doing? But it's like, but that's their time. And I have to listen to my time. And if it takes me a year or 2 to write a script, then that's just how long it took me to write that script. Because you can't rush creativity. Like, you just can't rush creativity because you're so worried about the outside noise. Even with season 2, the gap between 1 and 2 is 3 years. Part of that was really because I had no intentions of doing a 2, but the constant ask about a season 2 was what pushed me to do a season 2. But even then, I'm like, all right, I'll do it, but I'm not going to rush on it. So take your time would be my advice, and keep working towards your own craft at your own pace. Don't worry about your peers or what the next person is doing. You just need to focus on you, because what's destined for you and what's meant to be is going to happen. And I'm kind of spiritual in a way, but like I think not in a way. I am spiritual. But it's like you're never late to what is meant for you. You're right on time every time. So if you get discouraged, that's gonna come, but like, just try to find a way to pick it back up and continue to writing. So even if you trying to challenge yourself to write 1 hour a day, 30 minutes a day, however it is, consistency is the key and dedication is the key. So keep going until something happens. And then it's like, I'm sure people heard this before, but like, you never know, the one day you stop would have been the day that you got your moment or your yes. So
that's the me or the digging, and the diamonds right on the other side. So speaking on time, I mean, you've been My Second AC, killed it. You've done so many different things. When it might not be your time, how do you still make forward progress?
That's a good question. I try to stay busy. I really do. I really try to stay busy, because there's been projects that I want to be on and I didn't get on, or like, hey, invite me to your set, and then they just go. So I don't dwell on that. I just be like, okay, cool. And then I go to the next person, or I try to, if someone asks me to come to their set, I try to respect that it is hard when you're been in director seats, or, not to put nobody down, but you're more experienced than some others. It's kind of hard to fall back. It's kind of hard to fall back and be like, okay, this is their set. But to your point, like, I think it's literally just that it's not my time. And I have to be okay with that. And then you just keep it pushing. Just keep finding the next set, keep finding the next project. figuring out what's next, and then also figuring out like what can I do now so that I stay relevant and still have a good resume and push content.
Are you a creative in the Milwaukee area looking for a studio space? Look no further. Studio Space MKE has you covered. From a cyc wall to a green screen, all of your production needs can be met right here for your next production. Check them out at Studio Space MKE on Instagram, Peerspace, and now back to the pod. So we're going to move on to the director's chair, and this is our guest's opportunity to talk 60 or so seconds about something that they really feel strongly about. So I will give you the floor.
Okay, so one of the things that I feel passionate and strongly about is, I think, just leadership on set altogether. I think talent is important. I think talent plays a valuable role in your films, but that's not it. I think in order to be a great leader, you have to have good communication, respect, emphasis on respect, because I've been on a lot of sets and some people are, mean to each other because, the pressure and got to get this done. But I think respect and ultimately knowing that a great leader creates a safe space for everybody. So it's not about being a director and having control. It's about creating a safe space for everybody to be creativity. And I think that's when creativity truly flows, is when you are able to, where am I going with this? I think some people think directing is about control, and it's not. You need to have that person there in a calm space to like navigate the chaos that is happening without triggering other emotions or making other people feel some type of way. And so I think that's one thing that I'm really passionate about, is like being a good leader as I embark this journey as a director or an assistant director. And how can I create a space where creativity just flows and we create beautiful things? And I think that's the only way to create something beautiful is when that happens, when people feel that, like, oh wow, I'm in this. You talked about earlier about working with people who are not creative, and it's hard to talk to them. So I think that's what I'm passionate about, leadership and bringing Milwaukee together to work, because we kind of in our own cliques, and I really want to break that.
All right, let's unpack that. I agree.
Yeah.
I think I've shout out to Justin, who's done so much work directing, producing, that I haven't had to burden. I kind of get as high as first AC, and I'm comfortable with
right.
that. But there are definitely some times, I think everybody in this room will agree, that you're kind of just sitting there like, I'm not in a position of power, but I got words. How do we approach that scenario? And by no means I have no gripes or grievances, but I'm just creating a situation here where it's like, okay, if we notice something up is just not working, and I think part of being hired or brought on or asked to come to a role is because that person trusts you and wants your expertise there.
Right.
But everybody again in this room is respectful enough to not step over where there should. But how does that happen? Yeah.
I do think it's
because you want to stop the self-implosion.
It is situation. I get it. You find your people. These are your people. You trust their work. You've seen their work. You've worked with them. But I think for me, where I'm coming from, it's not necessarily that. And I know it's hard. It's one of those things that's like, I don't know what to do. But like, I'm coming more from a place of like the names that are being pushed at the table that I've seen oftentimes, of like, oh, I'm looking for a DP. And your name, I toss out a name, local Milwaukee. They have a resume, strong. They have the footage, the reels, the content to show that they're capable of the work. Jonah from Chicago name gets put on the table. Jonah and the local person from Milwaukee has an equal resume. Same resume, strong. Jonah might have just a little bit more, and they probably charge a little bit more too, but around the same price. But you find it as a person in Milwaukee that Jonah will have more production value. So I'm going to go with the person in Chicago. That's what I'm talking about. Like, for me, it's like you're in the position to help somebody that is local and that's doing, and you already know the resources here is limited. And then you add on lack of support. That's why people leave. That's why we always get creatives that leave. But I say that to be like, if you're in the position to do it, do it. I've been on a set where I heard somebody literally say, oh, I was going to ask my boy to come to be a PA, but I don't want him working for free. I'm like, well, what about me?
Look around.
Like, what's going on here? So it's like, I think that's where I'm coming from. That's the standpoint where I'm coming from. Like, okay, so you're only going to invite me when you think, like, you basically saying you don't think I'm as valuable as
it's got to be convenient for you.
Right. That's what I'm saying. And so I understand that it's a tug, and it's like, okay, well, I don't want to step outside of what I know, but I do feel like what I was saying with my show, I had people there that were experienced, and I didn't have a problem saying yes to somebody coming and shadowing that person or learning from that person. Because ultimately, we're all just here trying to get experience. But if I'm one of those people that never get invited or never doing anything in the community because you're stuck in your own what's the word I'm looking for? I'm blanking.
Bubble?
Yeah, in your own bubble or your own clique. How am I supposed to? I'm not getting any opportunities. So then when I do meet you, well, what have you done? Well, nobody's telling me yes. But even like for me with Rise to Fall, I say to them, I know you're not our sound person, but you've been here 3 days shadowing this. You've had your hands on it. I don't mind giving you credit. I don't mind if you say, hey, I was on set of Rise to Fall. But will my attitude change if I ever become like Tyler Perry's status? Probably. More is at stake. But I feel like we are in a position to collaborate now more than ever, especially with the film office being here. Like, now is the time to really support and work with each other if we can. And if, like, it's okay. Me personally, I'm not knocking anyone down, but like, I feel like if you know once you get to know somebody's work ethic and what they can bring to the table, I think it's okay to tell your boy, oh, I'm going to give so-and-so a chance or whatever. Like, we done worked together so many times. It's okay. And now if so-and-so decides they want to F up on set, I know who to go to.
Right. Let them dig their own grave, or or
that's their mess up. Like, I gave you a chance. Now I really just can't work with you, and that has happened to me. Like, that's the whole reason I had to get another sound person. Like, that has happened. Like, I gave you, like, it's okay. I'm not not knocking that person out if they ever watch this, but I'm just saying, like, it wasn't for me, so I went elsewhere.
How do we create more of that space in Milwaukee? Because I think the hard part right now is that there is truly so much talent and truly so many people with so many really good ideas. And I genuinely mean that. But the hardest part, and the thing transparently that stopped me from moving forward with some of my ideas, because Justin's always pushed me, like, we've done Dreams, we've done 414 Day, encouraging me to kind of write and get more stuff done in that sense. But like, for me, I'm like, I know this is the landscape, but I feel terrible asking favors. Right. So how do we navigate that space where, I can pitch, an idea to somebody, passionate, they're in, but I'm still like, but I can't pay you. Yeah. Like, how do we as a city navigate that? Because it is, maybe I'm wrong, but I think kind of a part of where we are.
It is a lot of where we are. I do agree. And then not that you said it is wrong. I I agree to that, and the fact of like, in reality, we all paying each other back.
And
we're paying each other.
You have to get the reel to get the work.
Yeah, I got $500 for you to come and do X, Y, and Z on my set. Like, yeah. And then you call me and like, hey, I got $500. Like, we just paying
it's the
each
same
other
bills
back.
going
Yeah,
back.
it's paying each other back. So I hear what you're saying, and dang, what was the question?
Well, I think I don't think I really asked a question. I didn't pose a question.
I got caught up in agreeing with you.
I think the question is, how do we navigate a world where, in reality, in order to grow together, favors have to potentially be given?
Yeah.
But the hard part is, it's tough to also promise. And if you do, it's tough to, like, if it doesn't work out, to keep a relationship. Yeah,
it is tough, but I think it's tough, but it's worked. And I'm only saying that it's worked because I'm the one that did it. I wasn't able to pay everybody. And it was more so, I think it was more so the passion behind me that made people want to stay.
Right.
But I was upfront and honest with everybody in that, for the people that I couldn't pay, like, you be doing this pretty much out of the kindness of your heart. But the return is you got the experience, you have a really nice product to show. And I've seen people really, really flourish. Not to say that I'm the reason why, but like, I would probably use Kelly as an example. She's been doing a lot lately.
She's killing it.
She's been killing it. And so it's like, and she could have easily told me no. And so it's like, she saw that, took it. And I think it's more so, when you talk about navigating, I think it's more so also for you as an individual. What are you going to do next for yourself? Like, I can't be the reason that you didn't get a paid gig or something like that. You have a nice product. How are you going to promote it and get something else? But I do think we as a community, I'm more so curious to see, with the film office being here, what opportunities is going to provide for us. But I do think that, I also think I would love for us to have some type of resource or something that kind of help us find funding so that we can pay people. Because it's here. I just don't think we know where it's at.
That's true. Do you think the unfortunate consequence of getting a film office is that we'll start to become headhunters?
That, I actually, yes. I talked about that when the conversation first came up about Milwaukee. I was like, no, Milwaukee is so cheap. We can film a film here for little to nothing. It doesn't cost. You don't need a whole lot of licensing. You just shoot. And now that we have an office, it's like kind of scary. It's like, okay, is everything gonna go up? We're gonna need this and we're gonna need that to film on this street, and we're gonna need this license, and we gotta go through the film office. And
we probably did. Let's be real.
So, but yes, to answer your question, yeah, I think it's gonna happen.
I don't have a stance.
It's gonna happen
because it hasn't happened. I haven't seen it.
But I think people want to shoot here, which was the whole point. We've had films here shooting. I mean, they weren't here the whole time, but they shot some scenes here. And the whole reason why people didn't come here was because we didn't have the benefits. If you're a top production company, I'm not sending my crew and cast up here.
Right.
No matter how beautiful the city is, I can't do it because I'm not going to get anything in return. So, I think to answer your question, I do think so. But I just hope on the flip side, we're all on those sets getting money, getting experience. Because I do think it's going to bring people in. People want to shoot here. We have a very beautiful city. It's really nice. And the culture here is really nice. And it's growing all the time. JP, all these artists, these famous dancers that are coming out. And Steve with his comedic dancing and all that. So like Milwaukee is becoming more of a name, especially when you talk about Giannis and the Bucks. And I think that contributed to our people's attraction to the city, in which why they started to clean it up and make it more. So I think it's beyond just film. I do think Milwaukee has the potential of being one of those talent hubs, so to speak, like Chicago and Atlanta and LA.
I would say I feel like it's akin to an Atlanta in the sense of like its growth pattern, everything like that.
I think Atlanta is known like to be like Black Hollywood. It is kin to Atlanta. I myself have said it 1,000 times that I want to move there and work there because of the resources that they have. But it also, the cost of living is high and their homeless rate is out the roof. So it's like, Milwaukee's not that bad. I don't know. I think I should stay. It's like every time I think about leaving, something happens. And I'm like, okay, I want to see where this goes.
Yeah.
And so I want to see where the film office takes us and see what comes with it. My biggest thing is just the jobs. Who's coming here to shoot and how can I get on the set?
For real. So what is next for KMK Films? And I know you said, directing is kind of a big focus for you. Do you have anything coming up in that world, or what projects are you working on?
I'm assistant directing a short film at the end of this month. It's called In Too Deep. I'm going to be doing that. There's a lot of talk about assistant directing a couple of projects after that, but none of them have official stamped on it. I'm probably blasting him, but Sean
he's over my shoulder, not yours. So I don't know what he's looking.
He got something coming up too, and I'm hoping I get the call from your boy. Yeah, that, and then I am still acting, so I do want to do more auditions. If I'm not directing, those are my main focuses. I do like acting. It just was challenging.
You looked right at home. I mean, despite all the other things that you were doing, you looked right at home.
Yeah, it's just not with my own stuff if I can avoid it. Sometimes it's just easier because that's one less character I have to worry about. But I have been in the writing lab. I want to do this Money Heist feature, but I've been thinking like maybe I should do it as a proof of concept first and see if I can get funding to then create the feature. But that's where my head is at right now in terms of like something that I really would like to get done this year. Just this new script I've been working on. And then maybe if I decide, I will sit down and think about
start writing your next dream.
Season 3. I have to dream about it a little bit more.
All right. Where can people find your work? Where do you want to direct the attention?
They can follow me at KMK Films, or my website, www.kmkfilms.com. Rise to Fall is on Amazon Prime. It will be on Tubi. I don't know when, but if you want to spend the time to check as much as I do, that'll be great. If not, you can follow me on social media and I'll post it then.
Rise to Fall has a Instagram as well too.
Yes, yeah. Rise to Fall series is the Instagram name. Rise to Fall series. And then I have a personal page, Kaykizzle, KAYKIZZLE _. So I post on all 3 of those. Yeah.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you so much for being our guest today.
You.
And thank you everybody for watching. If you are out there and have any thoughts on any of the discussions that we've had today, put them in the comments. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Hit like, hit subscribe, go check out Rise to Fall, and we'll see you next time. Stay creative, everybody.